In northern Chile, you will find the Atacama Desert. It is the driest place on Earth, a landscape so alien and lifeless that NASA uses it to test its Mars rovers. Satellite images reveal a bizarre anomaly in the sand. Mountains of clothing dumped directly into the desert by the thousands of tons. Humanity now produces over 100 billion garments every year. That is enough for every single person on Earth to receive 14 new pieces of clothing annually. Yet, on average, a garment is worn only 7 to 10 times before it is thrown away. This landscape is the deliberate physical graveyard of an industry engineered for overproduction: fast fashion. Historically, the fashion industry operated on a timeline dictated by basic weather. Production cycles were split into 2 seasons, summer and winter. It took 6 months for a new design to reach a store. That system was broken in 1975. A man named Amancio Ortega opened a store called Zara and abandoned the 2-season model. He built a system with 52 micro-seasons, guaranteeing brand new inventory every single week. Decades later, companies like Shein took this model and automated it. They weaponized software to scrape millions of internet searches and social media images, identifying microtrends in real time and feeding them straight into production. This chart shows the escalation of manufacturing speed. Zara reduced a 6-month cycle down to 15 days. Shein's algorithm pushes a design to ready to sell in just 3 days. Scaling outward shows the volume enabled, up to 10,000 brand new styles injected every single day. Clothing is no longer treated or manufactured as a durable good. It is a rapidly expiring commodity, designed to be replaced immediately. To sustain this massive output, you have to manufacture demand. In 1932, advertisers codified the strategy of artificial obsolescence, convincing consumers to abandon perfectly good items for newer, slightly altered versions. Modern algorithms have optimized this strategy. Scrolling through cheap, rapid-fire clothing hauls online triggers the exact same dopamine reward pathways in the human brain that we see in gambling and drug addiction. Influencer marketing enforces this addiction with a manufactured cultural stigma. For many young consumers, the entirely normal act of outfit repeating has been successfully rebranded as shameful. Consumers now buy clothes less for utility and more to satisfy an engineered psychological addiction, one that deliberately hides the physical destruction required to maintain it. At the beginning of the physical supply chain, the destruction starts with agriculture. Even basic natural materials demand staggering resources. In Central Asia, the Aral Sea used to be the world's 4th largest lake. Today, its water has been entirely drained to irrigate cotton farms, leaving behind a carcinogenic desert that spreads throat cancer to nearby villages. On a personal scale, manufacturing a single cotton t-shirt requires 2,700 liters of water. That is enough to sustain one human's drinking needs for 2.5 years. The water utilized by the fashion industry returns to local ecosystems heavily laced with toxic dyes, pesticides, and chemical phosphates. Visual evidence of this chemical runoff exists in places like India's Yamuna River, which is frequently choked by toxic waste from textile factories. The artificially cheap price tag of fast fashion at checkout is an illusion. The true cost is simply being extracted directly from global freshwater supplies. But cotton isn't even the primary material anymore. Today, 60% of all clothing is made from synthetic fossil fuel derivatives: polyester, nylon, acrylic, plastic. When you launder these garments, the agitation of the washing machine violently snaps the fabric. A single wash cycle sheds millions of microscopic plastic fibers directly into the wastewater. These microplastics are so small they bypass water treatment plants entirely. They have infiltrated our rivers, our oceans, and our biology. Scientists have now discovered them in human blood, liver tissue, and the placentas of unborn babies. The industry's engineered materials have expanded their reach beyond the external environment, successfully breaching the human body. Because less than 1% of old clothing is recycled into new garments, 87% of all textile waste is dumped or burned. These synthetics release toxic smoke and remain in the environment for 200 years. This waste burden is heavily exported to developing nations. Secondary markets like Ghana's Contamonto are rapidly overwhelmed with cheap, unwearable synthetic garbage. But a systemic pushback is forming. France has passed the world's first anti-fast fashion tax, and the European Union is developing digital product passports to track a garment's complete environmental history. You can fight the algorithm directly. Before you buy anything, use the 30 wear test. Ask yourself if you will actually wear it 30 times. And actively reject the social stigma against outfit repeating. Practice material literacy. Avoid bottom-tier plastics and opt for sustainable materials like recycled cotton, organic linen, and hemp, which regenerate soil and use negligible water. By recognizing and rejecting the psychological manipulation of artificial obsolescence, we have the power to starve the fast fashion engine and sever the toxic thread destroying our planet.